Agit and Kvitel, for many years after Yom Kippur, we've said over the Bir Hagra in Siman Tafresh Chavdaled, on the Ramah, on Sefei, who says we don't say Tachnon between Yom Kippur and Sukkos. The Gra explains, Mishum Dahava Yom Tov, Kamay Yom HaKippurim B'Miktzas. It is like a Yom Tov, a little bit like Yom Kippur. Like the Medrash says on the Pasuk, L'kachtem lachem b'yom harishon, Rishon l'cheshbon avonos, and they are the days of the Chanukas Habayis, the Gra says. So for many years we said over, from Rabbi Binyamin Sorotzkin, from the Sefer Nachlas Binyamin, brought in the Sefer Sukkos HaYotzrim, that apparently the days between Yom Kippur and Sukkos have some capacity, to some extent, to mechaper avonos, just like Yom Kippur, because the cheshbon of avonos for the upcoming year begins on the first day of Sukkos. And therefore, these days are like a Yom Tov, somewhat just like Yom Kippur. However, perhaps there's another way to explain it. It's not that these days have an independent capacity to be mechaper, even though he does bring from Rabbi Yonasan Eibeshitz, quoted in the Eitz Yosef on the Medrash Rabbah, that just like Yom Kippur, the Satan is not mekatreg, between Yom Kippur and Sukkot, the Satan is also not mekatreg. But it could be the explanation is, not that these days have independent capacity for kapara, but Yom Kippur, of course, has independent capacity for kapara. But because these days are designated for preparing for Sukkot, that doesn't allow us time to sin, and therefore, in a way, the taras hanefesh from Yom Kippur remains during these days. All the years we said over that the Gra is mashma, that somehow these days have a kapara component to them. Perhaps like it was always thought, that Yom Kippur is the only day that is mechaper our avonos. But because these days are designated as preparation for Sukkot, and we're very occupied, therefore the roishim of kapara from Yom Kippur remains during these days, and therefore they are days of simcha, and they are Yom Tov b'miktzas. But let's also point out, these were the days of the Chanukas Habayis of the first Beis Hamikdash. That's another reason that these days have an element of Yom Tov. Either way, during these days, we enjoy a clean slate, we enjoy a taras hanefesh, and we are hopeful and optimistic, and we have bitachon in Hashem that in the upcoming year, it will be a year of great success and blessing. Lanu Ulachal Yisrael. Amen.